Hi there everybody, this is David, and I got a chance to play Ys vs. Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga. This is not your typical Ys game, and it is not your typical Trails game. This is something else entirely, much more akin to something like Super Smash Brothers of all things. And I do want to tell you all about it today, and I definitely do think it's worth the sub as you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. With your sub, your like, and your brand new hype, it does help me out a ton. So if you've never heard of this game, it was released back on the PSP, but only in Japan. This is a complete, full-up remaster of it that is now coming out. And this game was created at the same time as Trails in the Sky, as well as Ys 7. So you're not going to be seeing anyone from Cold Steel here, you're not going to be seeing anyone from Zero or Azure, you're not going to be seeing anyone from Ys 8 or Ys 9 or Ys 10. It is only the characters from Ys 7 and only the characters from Trails in the Sky. That's it. So get used to it. So basically there's a story mode here and there's an arcade mode. The arcade mode is essentially you choose a character and then you fight against the CPU like you would in a Mortal Kombat game or a Street Fighter game or a Super Smash Bros. Game. There is also the ability to play co-op either online or local with up to 4 different players, but I have no friends, so I just play it against the computer right there doing that, and I died terribly because I didn't know what I was doing. So then I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll start up the story mode, which actually had a tutorial in it, and it told me what I was doing, and I was still terrible at it. But that's a me problem. It's not really a you problem, it's a me problem. So you get to go through the story mode with either Estelle, Joshua, Adol, Geis, Chloe, or Tita. And I was looking at all of them and I thought, you know what? Probably the easiest one is Tita, because she has like a cannon and she can like attack from afar, you know what I mean? So she would be a good one to choose, so that is who I went ahead and chose. Maybe it wasn't the right decision, maybe that's why I was having such a hard time, but oh my gosh, I still went with my little girl Tita. So here's the gist of the story. Basically, there's this land called Xanadu, there's a dragon king who lives in the center of the world at the top of the mountain, and you have to go and kill the dragon king because the laws of the world of Xanadu are topsy-turvy and they're going haywire, and warriors that were meant to unite and help you are now turning against you. So of course, you have to attack one another and kill one another in order to, I don't know, bring them back to normal or whatever. But after you attack them and you beat them in combat, then you cast a spell on them and you bring them back up to normal. There is a very easy, normal, hard, or nightmare mode in this game. So it does have those accessibility options, and the story is told in kind of like a visual novel kind of style. You can kind of see that it was kind of a budgety game right here back on the PSP. So if you think that you're going to be going through and like saying, oh, well, you know, the dragon's on top of a mountain, I'm going to go through a mountain stage, and maybe there's a forest stage or a volcano stage. No, ma'am. It is not working like that. It is literally, okay, you're in a forest, there's 3 different forest stages, and then a boss. Okay, you're in this kind of town area, there's 3 town stages and then a boss. But those stages aren't real stages. They're essentially just an excuse for a fight. So it feels to me like it's like Street Fighter 2, you know, the World Warrior back on the SNES, as you just got, did a battle and then you hopped at the airplane and then you went to the next battle and then you went to the next battle until you fought M. Bison and you beat the game. That's essentially what it is here. There's no little mobs out there that you gotta fight. There's no stage that you have to traverse. Nothing like that. It is literally just fighting against Estelle, fighting against Joshua, fighting against Adit, fighting against Adol, Dogi, etc. until you get to the Dragon King and you fight against him. So the fighting itself is actually really fast-paced and it's a whole lot of fun. You can guard, you can dash, you can jump, you can attack. One thing that did bother me, and again, this is a me problem, mostly because I have arthritis in my thumb from playing all these video games for so long, but you couldn't just kind of like hold down the B button to attack. You had to continually mash the B button, and at one point I was kind of holding it and then trying to attack with my other finger over here because my other finger was hurting so bad. So yeah, that's basically how the fights go. There's also skills that you can use if you hold the R button and then hit the B to attack. You will use an associated skill. You can purchase new skills at the Mona shop. Each battle, you'll gain experience points and you'll gain shop points. The experience points, of course, level you up. You get stronger with each battle. And then the shop points allow you to purchase things at the shop. It's essentially your gold. And the more things that you buy at the shop, the more items will open up at the shop later on as well. There you'll be able to upgrade your weapon, your armor, buy new accessories, buy new special attacking skills, all sorts of stuff like that, and then go ahead and equip them down in the menu. The more stuff that you do buy at the shop, the more items will appear in the shop's inventory as you keep on going. During battle, there's also support abilities that you can use and extra abilities that you can use. Sometimes you'll see like this little support icon pop up, and whenever that does, you just hit L and R, and then a support action will occur. And for Tita, that brings her attack power up, thank God, because she needs it. And then there's an extra gauge, which is essentially your limit break. The more attacks that you do, the more damage that you take, the more damage that you deal, the more skills that you use, the more your extra gauge will fill up, and then you can use your limit break. I know a lot of you are watching this, and this is all my footage, and you're laughing at my combat prowess here, but again, I don't really play games like this all that often. I do play action RPGs, but like, whenever I'm talking about, fighting games, I don't really know much beyond Street Fighter 2 back on the SNES. We're talking from 1992 or whatever that thing came out. I believe that I played Mortal Kombat at one time as well, probably Mortal Kombat 2, and I played Super Smash Brothers maybe 3 times at my friend Chris's house, so I'm not exactly a huge fighting game fan or know so much about it, but I will say this, I did have a good time with this game, and that to me is the key. Are you having a fun time? The game isn't long. It's maybe, being generous, 5 hours, maybe, to defeat the dragon. But, there's a whole lot of fun that can be had in playing against your friends, playing in the online mode, going through in the arcade mode. All that stuff is very fun. And then also, in the boss fights, you can actually bring characters that you've recruited to go ahead and help you. So I had, Olivier come in, and he lent me a hand as well during some of the boss fights and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was kind of fitting to have the Tails characters, together and go ahead and fight the bosses and all that. So it was a very good time. I wasn't very good at it, but it was definitely a good time. I did have fun with it. It might not be my game, you know what I'm saying? But I think it is a good game, if that makes sense. Another cool thing, though, that I've got to say before I do wrap this up is that even if you lose a battle, and I know this because I lost many, many, many battles, even if you lose a battle, you still do gain experience points for fighting that battle, so no time is wasted, if you know what I mean, which is pretty cool. And also, you do gain experience for your characters even in the arcade mode. If you're fighting in the arcade mode, you'll get experience for your characters, which you can then use over in the story mode, which is a really neat addition as well. So yeah, that's it for my review of Ys vs. Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga. It is different. Do not go into this thinking it's an Ys game or thinking it's a Trails game, because it's not. This is a fighting game. So just know that and have a good day.